Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 71. Today we are doing battle with Gnar Ziggs, and I feel like Gnar Ziggs is going to be a pretty good lead-in to the champion we'll be reviewing today. We'll be talking about Annie. Annie, as we'll quickly here see, really cares about us doing the fast spell, slow spell, or skill thing. And you see quite a bit quite a bit of that out of Gnar Ziggs, and so I felt like this would be a fitting deck to play as we preview Annie. And it's also an interesting deck to kind of finish off the Curious Journey with, as to where at the beginning of the patches, Gnar was just like the absolute powerhouse, and then now he's pretty much nowhere to be seen. And so I figured we could give Gnar a little bit of time in the spotlight as well. And so, as we switch over to Annie, this is the last champion revealed out of the new expansion. A 0 attack, 2 health, 1 cost unit. And then when she attacks, she deals 2 damage to her blocker. If there's no blocker, she deals the 2 damage to the Nexus. And so that is kind of interesting in and of itself. Her attack power does not matter, right? Casting mites and casting brothers' bonds and whatnot. It's just not going to do anything with Annie, but that's not to say that this ability is weak, right? It does count towards this fast, slow skill thing. I'm surprised they haven't come up with a word for this, but this put a spell on the stack kind of thing. Her attack activates that. And then it also does some bonus work. It kind of counts as being like a quick attack unit, since she does her damage before the combat actually happens. And then it has kind of pseudo overwhelm, if you will, in terms of, say, if you recall your opponent's unit or stun your opponent's unit, she can still get the damage done to the Nexus. And so, at the core, would you be willing to play a 2/2 with upside for 1 mana? We would. Those people out there casting Piercing Darkness, maybe not so much, but here on the FTP Bus channel, we are more than excited to play an aggressively costed 1-drop. Across the rest of the board, when she levels up, her ability moves up to 3, and then she creates the Tibbers card in hand. Another quite powerful ability. Tibbers is super strong, right? Is this a card that we would play in our deck just because we could? No. You can't play Tibbers. He's a created card only, but it has a lot going for it, right? It's attached to this 1-cost champion. And then having a card that's good early and good late is extremely strong. And so if we do manage to flip Annie, she gives us this powerful champion in the end of the game. And then the card for the end of the game is really good at helping close it out. If we get to stun our opponent's strongest unit, maybe kill another one, then we're right on track with just killing our opponent as it is. Not to mention, Tibbers also has Fearsome, and so not as good as Overwhelm, but is still a little bit more challenging to block. And so, in my opinion, Annie kind of has it all. She's good early, she's good late, she's aggressive, she kind of protects herself with this attacking ability, so she's tough to trade with. I think the 2 places that will like sort of see problems with Annie is she only has 0 attack. Whereas, say, if we take a unit like Legion Rearguard that just can't block, but it still has attack, it's much better against challengers, right? So if our opponent's playing a Petricite Broadwing, then they just kind of have free reign to take Annie down with no downside. And so that is, kind of on the weaker side of the spectrum, depending on the amount of like scouts and challengers running around. Annie is pretty susceptible to that kind of thing, but she can block. Right, Legion Rearguard just straight up can't block, and so I think her being able to block probably makes up with that. Although if you're in a spot where she's blocking, it's probably not your best day. And then the last piece of the puzzle here is her Disintegrate card. It's up here at the top right. Pick a unit the next time it takes damage this round, kill it. I'm not entirely certain that this is the kind of card that we would like to be playing. It does work well with Annie. Right, so with her attack ability, if we cast Disintegrate on our opponent's unit, then she'll just ace that unit and kill it. That helps her solve the problem of running into bigger units and not being able to answer them. But it's kind of questionable if this is a card that we would play main deck. As a flip, it's fantastic. As a main deck card, I'm kind of skeptical. It's one I need to kind of work around with and try. For the most part, like all of the Noxus cards wouldn't really care. You flood the board so easily that getting 2 for 1 isn't that bad, and getting 2 for 1 is oftentimes just worth it, especially if you get to, say, trade your 1-drop and your 2-mana Disintegrate for your opponent's 6-drop. Then you have some uses there. And so we'll see. We'll take a peek with the Disintegrate. Down here at the bottom left, the Raven Bloom Conservatory. I'm not entirely convinced that this is going to be good. The payoff is certainly there. This Taibaluk, Taibaluk, there we go, is pretty powerful with the +1 to attack to all of your units. Your skills deal 1 more bonus damage. This can come down early. So if we start off these curves with, say, Annie on turn 1, another 1 drop on turn 2, and then the Raven Bloom Conservatory, then the guy will be coming down around when you're trying to finish the game. But if you draw this on turn 7, it's just a dead card. And so I'm kind of skeptical about this in aggressive decks. Not to say there's not a home for it, but we'll have to see with the Raven Bloom Conservatory. In terms of the other cards released, Mana Soul Student is one that's kind of interesting to me. It does suffer from not having 3 health. I am glad to see Riot kind of pick and choose how they're going to handle these stats. It's just not every unit in the game is a 3/3 for 3 with upside. I think that they should be choosing some factions that are worse at this if it's Noxus, okay. And then I think there should also be some factions that are better than that, probably like Demacia, probably like Shurima, as we've kind of seen, where they tend to get some 3/4s. And so nonetheless, it's still a pretty powerful ability. The first time you play a fast, slow, or a skill, it does 1 damage to the opponent. And so we'll see if that turns out to be a thing. It makes your skills better and then also churns off additional skills. And so this is a pretty big engine card, even though it can only be used once per round. As we've seen here recently with the lantern, the fairy lantern, only being once per round isn't the biggest downside in the world. And so some potential there. Spellslinger, another interesting one to me. It is a spider, right? I guess the Spellslinger is actually the spider on the shoulder, not this handsome looking fella down here slinging spiders. He might actually be caught in the web, but he looks kind of happy to be caught in the web. But this is kind of interesting to me in that it's just additional spiders. I don't think this is the kind of card you're actively looking for in an Annie deck. It may work with Jin. But I think the spiders is also a kind of interesting place with this, especially if you're able to give it a couple bonus points of attack. So if you're playing on curve with spiders, we play Elise on 2, we play some rando on turn 3, then on turn 4 we play like an Arachnoid Horror and then stun our opponent's unit that can block Fearsomes. Very good chance we get to chunk in for a big old bunch of damage. And so some real opportunities for this guy across the board, although probably not in a deck with Annie. And then I felt like the last one we're talking about was the Prefect. I don't think this card's going to be particularly good. This is the one, it may kind of come out and surprise me. I think looking at it at just face value as being a 3-drop you want to play on turn 3, that it's not that great, right? You can compare it to whatever the 4/3 is that Noxus just has, right? They have a 4/3 Overwhelm for 3. But where I have to kind of like stop and pause is like, what if we play this on our opponent's like turn 6 and then play a spell and an ability or 2 so we get it up to a 3/3, and then it swings back around to our turn, and then we attack and have like 2 or 3 skill units on the board, and this can kind of realistically become like a 5 or a 6 or a 7 attack Overwhelm. And so I think it might be kind of interesting in those terms, right? If we have like an Annie and if we have a Legion Saboteur on the board, like if you have that kind of stuff that can attack and generate skills, then you might be able to get some kind of out of nowhere boosts for the Prefect. And so I have to like reevaluate this one after we had a chance to see how this kind of fast, slow, or skill ability thing kind of works. And I think if we kind of look at this and say, okay, this is a 7-drop, this isn't a 3-drop, we might be kind of happily surprised with it, especially in those terms that if this is good as a 7, and then you run into a game to where you just don't have anything to play on turn 3, you can still just play it, right? It doesn't have to be at ultra powerful levels. Then you're just playing it when on the downside, right? So if you're playing something like Armored Elephant or Darius, you just can't play them on turn 3 to where this bro you can. And so we'll see. The Prefect, I'm not sure on. Spellslinger, we'll see if you can find a home. I'm interested in trying spiders. Mana Soul Student, I worry about the singular or the only 2 points of health, but maybe this burn thing will work. And then Annie, of course, we're super excited to play with Annie. This is probably the first champion we'll put together decks with and get out there and start playing with. And so, good stuff there. All in all, not disappointed. Not disappointed. I'm always worried when the Noxus champion comes out. We're ready to get our aggression on. We're ready to do our attacking thing, and then it's just like, I don't know, Vladimir. And so I'm glad I at least wasn't disappointed with this. I thought Annie was pretty fantastic, both in terms of flavor with the champion design and the execution. And so pretty good stuff there. So, all right, back to the deck we'll be playing today. This is Gnar Ziggs. It's a Decimate-based burn deck. And this really kind of like picked up a lot of steam like a month and a half ago. And so, like when people were figuring out what to do with Gnar before Gnar got nerfed, before Bandle City got nerfed, this was one of the kind of premier aggro decks of the format. But then as the patches came along, I guess it would have been the 3.6 patch or the 3.4 patch, I don't remember which. But when Bandle City caught all the nerfs, the Gnar kind of fell by the wayside. People figured out other ways to take advantage of Ziggs, and then we kind of quit using Gnar and we quit using these transform units. And it's one of those things to where it may not have been completely deserved, right? As far as this deck is concerned, the only weaknesses that Gnar now has is he lost a point of attack, and then the Conchologist lost a point of health. So this deck, it didn't lose a ton. It definitely lost some, but did it lose enough to completely knock it off the map? That's kind of up for question and up in the air. But one of the big reasons I did want to kind of like circle back to this is Ziggs really interests me in these upcoming days. He is one of the few champions that has a skill ability. So if we're looking to activate Annie, if we're looking to activate some of these skill-based cards, we can just straight up do it with Ziggs attacking. And that does sound fairly powerful, as some of these cards have your skills deal an additional point of damage. We saw that Mana Flow Mage, whatever that new one was called, to where, say, we open with Ziggs with that Mage on the board, then we get to deal the additional point of damage just based off the attack. And so I think Ziggs might have some interesting combos coming up, whether or not that be in usage with Jen or be in usage with Annie. And so I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Otherwise, there are, of course, lots of spells running around with Gnar. Gnar generating Pokesticks gets a lot of the spells going. And then there are a handful of these other skill-based units in here. Legion Saboteur has the skill-based ability. I thought there was one more. Maybe I went a little too far with that. There it is, the Imperial Demolitionist, another one that has the skill-based ability. And so these are, kind of things to keep in mind, keeping your brain piece as these upcoming days come upon us. How good do we think Pokestick is? Does Pokestick get better with these skill kind of cards running around? Do things like Ziggs get better? Does Gnar get better? It doesn't have to just be all about Annie and all about Jen. There's other champions and other cards out here that can make some usages out of these abilities. And so I'm interested. I'm ready to see how this goes. We'll get our battles in today, and then we'll be ready to do battle with Annie tomorrow. And so, it'll be 2 days from now. I'll do the set review tomorrow when Annie comes out. That's the first champion we'll be playing. And so I did already check to see if we need to pay the pay-to-win price. We do not. We are ready to win all of our games today. Ziggs, not premium. Gnar, not premium, but everything else is. And so I feel like our debt has been paid. And let's get to it. Let's get out here and get to battle. Where you at? It's a skill. In the normals. Let's hit it. So yeah, that was an interesting set of cards. I'm really excited to try out the new set. And it's interesting to me. Not just in terms of the cards themselves, but Riot has kind of shifted in philosophy from this idea of making like one gigantic cohesive set and then breaking it up into pieces. Like this is what we would have seen from, like it's kind of like the Magic style of the way of doing it, right? We have this one really big set. That really big set has like some themes built into it. There might be a follow-up set. And then you're just kind of done with that. And so Riot was kind of following in the footsteps of the way things have gone. You could even kind of equate that to Hearthstone as well, as to where they have the kind of set and theme for the year, as opposed to just a block, as you might see with Magic. And so I think it's interesting that they're now kind of taking the standpoint of we're making 60 cards that are based on a skill ability, or 60 cards that are based on fast spells, or if you want to come up to these things in the future and say, okay, well, here's your 60 cards based on spiders. There's lots of options out there for Riot to come out and take advantage of. And I'm really curious to see how they handle everything in the future. All right, all right. Well, we're getting to the boom stage here. It's a tough space to want to attack, right? He's going to get a value block with the soldier. He's going to get a block on a 3-1 with the encroaching mists. It really kind of like sucks to pass up on the damage here, and so I'm going to go ahead and just get an attack in. So he'll get some good blocks across the board, but we're really going to wear him down. That's kind of thing number one. And then we'll be able to continue to spend all of our mana each turn here. So he doesn't actually want to block with his good units. He's still getting domed for 6. Not bad. Not bad. Let's get you on the board, Teeny Dactyl. It's been a while since you've seen seen the world of competitive play. All right. We have two choices here, right? We can drop the Gnar, or we can drop the 2 smaller units. I don't want to make the smaller plays while we don't have good targets for the Demolitionist. Okay, we'll take this 4-2 down. We're never, like, connecting with the Inventive Chemist, and so we might as well remove a good unit while we can. Now, the slightly awkward thing with this board is we don't have ways to both level the Teeny Dactyl and, like, play the Demolitionist. If we have to pokey stick with Gnar, it's kind of awkward. I think this board probably still worth an open. Like, if we play a Conchologist and then he drops a Viego, it's pretty bad. But, I mean, if we drop Conchologist and hit, like, a group shot, that's going to be pretty good. I think this attack can still be okay. Elixir of Wrath gets the job done. Like, if he plays Viego, we still get to attack and potentially take him down. Kindred, sure. I bet we get a surprise boom on Kindred here. It's going to be a real choice. I mean, we're getting really close to lethal if we want to just be real about it. We maybe just send the Elixir of Wrath to face. I don't want to count on Decimate getting the job done, because they do play that Rite of Negation, but we're so close. So close this way. All right. We'll also have a Pokey Stick coming to hand. Not the worst place to be. We could realistically look to just get a kill with Pokey Stick plus Teeny Dactyl. Then we would have the Decimate for the follow-up turn. We'll see. We'll see how they spend their mana. If he just taps out for Viego, we'll get the kill with Decimate. Where'd that extra point come from? Does not... What? Get an extra point somewhere. What did I miss? Interesting. All right. We'll take the Pokey Stick route. Rip. GG, my dude. Nice little opener for Gnar Ziggs. Bringing the serious booms. Okay. All right. So I discovered a new hatred today. I don't know what the word for hating animals is. Like, if you hate people of a certain skin color or something, you might be a racist. In terms of animals, I don't think like animist is the right word. I feel like that was like a druid thing in Dungeons and Dragons or something, or someone that could like talk to animals or speak to animals or mind meld with them or some shit. I don't feel like it's the right one. But either way, I feel completely comfortable saying I've hated deer since I was a teenager. Fucking stupid animals. If you've if you've never had a chance to interact with a deer, they're fucking dumb. And when I was like in high school, I was like 16, 17. I managed to hit one of these glorious creatures with my car. And so these stupid fucking animals don't know any better. They just stand in the middle of the street and then, you broadside 400 pounds of animal. It's fucking awesome. And so ever since then, I've just like hated the things with a passion. just take up space. They don't feel like they add a lot of value to the world, and so you know what? Just fuck them. Just get this dumbass animal out of here. but today I discovered something new. So like I don't have to deal with deer out here in Kansas City. We apparently just don't have them. You probably find them. You probably just have to drive like 20 minutes out towards Kansas or something, and you can find a deer. But like I don't have to deal with it. Don't have to worry about them. Don't have to run a car into them anymore. It's fucking great. But today there's just been this like flock of geese hanging out in the parking lot, and so not only do this flock of geese hang out like on the main street, they also hang out just like in parking lots. And so you're trying to navigate parking lots, and you got to go, oh dear, it's a fucking bird. And so that's my new one. I don't feel like I hate them. I absolutely hate deer. Those animals are dumb. Geese, I don't know. They might have some positives. At least the ones that tend to be at like lakes and stuff are overly aggressive. And so maybe those have some kind of positive to them. But man, deer certainly don't. Fucking dumbass animal. Hate those things so much. I don't know what even happened to that one. Like I hit it. Like it was just like hanging out in the street. I was doing like 40, 45 in an SUV, just broadside of the thing. It didn't. I don't know. I didn't see it after that. It just kind of scurried off into the woods. So, good riddance. All right, into the action here. Let's get some of this burn going. I want to get as much burn on the board as we can this turn. There's a realistic chance the dude just doesn't have any more plays. And so I wanted to get the pokey stick, see if we could find a unit. Looks like we can get in for 6. If he doesn't have any more cards, we just picked up a lethal. Righteous. GG. Dear God, it's just I don't know, man. I've never encountered a smart one. Dumbass animal. I don't know. Lots of animals have positive traits. I don't know. Maybe they feed the bears or something. I don't know what else they do. They mow the grass for the forests so they don't have to do it. I don't know. They just walk around and eat bushes and be dumb. That's all I'm aware that they do. All right, I'll get off that topic. We'll move on from that. And so here we're up against the Sejuani. I'm not entirely happy about hanging on to two drops. This is very much like Pirates, to where we want to spend our first 6 mana on units. So I'm kind of tempted to just get rid of a Grenadier to see if we can't pick up another 1-drop that we can drop on the first turn. But we definitely won't get rid of our 2s. It's a real disaster if you mulligan into 2 Nox and Fervors and then you just don't have any 1s or 2s to drop. I kind of like the Stone Stackers on the defense. Let's go ahead and drop the Legion Grenadier. Well, could have worked out slightly better here, I guess. We would have been getting an impact, or we would have been getting a value attack. Wasn't really anticipating Dreadway Deckhand coming down. Interesting, he doesn't take the trade, though. Interesting, I tell you.
I'll shoot the wings off a bilge wasp.
At least we're not going to get our entire board annihilated by a Make It Rain. That's pretty cool. This is very suspect. Maybe he has a Make It Rain. It's tough to see what kind of punish he would have. Why does he want to make that attack, right? I mean, we completely just took the bait to get a plunder. Okay, I'm on board with that. Now Gnar shows up. I think we gotta play. We're guaranteed to deal damage this turn. I was hoping to have some mana for a Nox and Fervor and just make an open attack, but Gnar fits in so nicely here. reasonable chance that he just gets like, I don't know, like if opponent's going to play a flash freeze onto Gnar to take him down with the Jagged Butcher, he's like spending so much mana to do that if it's through a Three Sisters. So I don't think we're worried too much about this. We should just get to boom pretty hard here.
Never lost a fair game.
Red card.
I'm a people person.
Okay. The Grenadier ensures we get damage in this turn. He either doesn't block it or he blocks it, takes a point of damage.
What's that you got there?
Watching my sights.
Sure. All right. Let's see if you can do it, Gnar. Get that whole burn package. 10, 11 burn coming straight out of hand. Feels nice. Feels nice. Uh-oh. Sure. I think this is decent. Is that our teeny dactyl? What a hit. Ugh. Fuck me. We have to take it down now. We can't let this morph into giant mode next turn. We don't have any answers to that. Man. I don't know, though. We have enough burn. We could probably fade it.
Lady Luck is smiling.
Alright, we'll take this one. He's already got his point of damage in for the turn. I don't know what his angle is attacking with Twisted Fate, but I don't like it. So we'll leave it at that. I don't like it. Okay. He says, "My deck's balls. Give me some of your deck." Look at that. All of our cards are just like way better than anything out of his deck. He's playing our Conchologist. He's playing our Teeny Dactyls. Like, bro, your cards are terrible. But we're in a pretty decent spot now. We can just burn him out. Let's just go ahead and start playing Pokey Sticks. I don't think we have anything to worry about from here on. What up, Wallop? Curious how Wallop turns out with Jin. You start to pair Jin into Bandle City and you get access to Wallops along with some of their other new... They got that new stun that does stun plus 2 damage. Curious to see if that's a path Jin gets to take. Alright, well, I'm pretty sure this one's done. We're going to get to Nox and Fervor away the Legion Grenadier and deal 4 damage to face. I don't think there's too many ways around that. He could have a Monster Harpoon as a way to take the Grenadier down, but I don't feel like that's something I'm going to worry about. No ways to pass on Overwhelm to the Pterodactyl, so we can just block with the Grenadier. Boom him. All right. Mark it a 3. 3 victories for us. Feels pretty good. Get him, Gnar. Get him. All right. So, man, I like to keep up with the drama happening in the world of Magic the Gathering, and so I saw the new drama this week was with Paolo. And him, I don't know if he didn't qualify for the Pro Tour. He didn't qualify for Worlds. I didn't quite exactly catch how that worked. But he didn't make the event, and he started making posts on it. It's caught a bit of traction on the old Reddit and stuff. And it's tough. It's a struggle. Like, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the matter. Like, everyone at this point gets that the Pro Tour is it's a advertisement for the game. Now, the smaller kind of events like Grand Prix and the Star City tournaments, those tend to be advertisements for the specific company, right? Star City was basically like, hey, I would like it if we could make a bunch of money off of these dual lands that we have. How do we get people to want to play with dual lands? Well, we start a tournament series where you want to play dual lands. And so that was kind of like Star City's way to get in. Kind of the same thing works with Channel Fireball, right? They're vendors. Arguably the biggest money maker for these people at these events is buying cards. And so you get tons of people into the event. You get to buy cards at 50% off, and then you get to resell all those cards later. And so that's kind of like the difference between the two. None of this has to do with the player, right? There's, to some degree, it's nice that the players are there. They're kind of an advertisement for the game, but it's not really about the players. It's either an advertisement for some other company. And with Paolo, it kind of sucks. Like, I feel like if he hasn't done enough with his likeness by now to where he's not counting on the Pro Tour to be a thing, then he's done something seriously wrong. And the thing that this like really got me thinking about this week is I don't watch golf. I could give two fucks about golf. Golf is super fucking boring. But at the gym every day, they have some kind of sports ball, like talking head stuff on the TV. I've seen for the entirety of the week, is Tiger Woods going to play at the PGA Tour, right? Who cares? I couldn't name another golfer. I'm pretty sure the PGA Tour is over. No idea who won. But I do know that Tiger Woods played through the first round, and he did indeed play in the event. And that is what, kind of a lot of this breaks down to is, you are an advertisement. He knows he's an advertisement. The way that they changed the rules, I don't know. I didn't pay full amounts of attention to that kind of thing. But I feel like he should probably know better at this point. The other kind of thing that I took into that and where this kind of rant is going is I do care a little bit about basketball in terms of LeBron James. I grew up a few hours from Akron. He was in the news literally all the time from the time I was a teenager on through him making it to the NBA. And we're right at the same age. And so it was always a thing in our area. And so one of the things me and my brother did was we wanted to see LeBron play in person before it was done. He's getting fucking old. I'm getting fucking old. Everybody's getting old. And so we went to see, we got tickets to go see LeBron. But then it was like he broke his ankle or something, or he sprained his knee. I don't remember exactly what he did. Does this work? If we Nox and Fervor our unit, does the Zed still die in combat? No, the Zed goes back to hand, but I think we still want to Nox and Fervor. And so we bought tickets, and then he said, basically, I'm not playing the rest of the year, but I'm still going to travel with the team. And then we have to make the decision, do we still want to go and watch the Lakers play, even though LeBron's not playing? And so, kind of what this is like circling back to is it's extremely important that these like big and well-named players are there. And if my kind of thing is if like Paolo hasn't pushed himself to that point yet, in the terms of like streaming and the terms of content creation, then it's like I feel like I kind of, it's like one side of me gets the argument that like A, the Pro Tour has been here, B, I've put in a lot of effort at being good on the Pro Tour, and this was kind of taken away from me, and I shouldn't have to be a talking head on Twitch to make a paycheck. I should get kind of the merits of my skill that I've devoted to this game for 20 or so years now. But without him kind of like rolling with the times, I completely understand why Wizards at their premier advertisement event would rather have people like Sev G's. Like I don't know. He got in like the Wizards Pro League, and then just the only time he ever played Magic was when it was his Pro League weeks. Like people got super pissed about that, but I get it. They had some other streamers that were getting like celebrity invites or whatever you want to call it, and I'm not completely surprised whatsoever. And the thing that like surprises me about it is like I concur that Wizards has been pretty terrible recently about changing the rules. It feels like they've like pre-COVID they started making kind of a habit of changing the rules literally every year, and really unfortunate for these people that are serious pro tour grinders. But I don't think it's strange to say the writing was on the wall in terms of them pushing towards this new kind of way to go about it, to where if you want to get the Tiger Woods to show up at your event or to care like that, you have to have that big name personality out there. Our decimate's going to get denied here, and this is going to be brutal. But there's nothing else we can do about it. We have to just go for it. Maybe not. Sweet. And so that's kind of like, I get it. If you don't want to sit around and just like stream on Twitch all day, that I completely understand how that feels miserable. It was challenging for me. Like, I'd done the YouTube thing. I've gotten used to just like talking and shit in the middle of playing all these games. But I completely understand not wanting to do that. And I do kind of wish that there was a better pathway for these people to not have to do that. But I don't know. I just kind of, I feel like at this point, if you're really like realistically wanting to be a professional magician, that you got to have a plan B. But on the flip side of the coin, I do see to where he feels like he got screwed out of it. The way that he was wording it was that he got punished for his better performances in the previous year, and so I'm not completely sure how those things rolled together, but it seemed like he got some kind of big win in the previous year, a high ranking in the previous year, and then that set him down like a different path for qualifying for the Pro Tour. But they also, the thing I saw that they also did was take away the Hall of Fame invites. And that's what plays kind of like directly into the Tiger Woods thing, which kind of blows my mind. And that it's so low value to give these dudes the Pro Tour invites. To take that away is kind of astonishing to me. And I know to a degree it's not entirely like that. For a lot of these people, they have to pay like plane tickets and hotels and all of that kind of thing. And then Wizards is moving away from being a competitive event to being a commander company. But man, I feel like you would have seen the writing on the wall and you would have just done something about it. I don't know. It feels bad. All right, dude's bringing all the formidables. This was kind of odd. I'm not sure how I feel about this matchup. The rest of these have been pretty point and click, but this one has felt kind of different. It's like I don't really want to just slam all of our units into this stuff and lose all of our stats. Oh, that's huge. We can burn them out now. We'll start with the Conchologist, see if we can't pick up a burn spell. Nox and Fervor will get the job done. We want to make sure we have 6 mana next turn, which we definitely do, so we can just drop all of our units. That 6 damage was huge. Probably should have just thrown away something. Uh-oh. Here come the fervors.
Persistence is key.
All right, let's see where that gets us. The thing I was kind of like pondering on those concepts earlier, and the thing that really stuck out with me was at least a while ago. I was still kind of actively following the Pro Tour. Was you would run into this space to where Luis Scott Vargas would just be making a run at the top 8, and nobody wanted him to succeed. Everyone wanted LSV to fail, so that he could go and do commentary later on in the day. So that always like it felt so brutal. It's like you wanted him to win, you wanted him to do well, and he was often cheered for so that he would just go and do coverage. But my kind of stance with him and those kind of things is I think in terms of just like raw talent and being the actual best player at the game, that goes down to John Finkel. But I think in terms of the person that has done the most for the competitive scene across the history of the game, far and away goes to LSV. Just between like actually just being a ridiculous monster at the game and still hanging out at being like the top 5 all time and probably like the top 10 in the active players when he just, I mean, I don't know what his lifestyle is, but I assume most of it involves playing Storybook Brawl. And then having like all the commentary thing, running limited resources for, well, not running, I guess, I don't know if you want to call it running, but being with Marshall on limited resources for years and years now. Just like the dude has done incredible things for the game. I think it's pretty hard to argue that someone has done more. All right, let's get our units on the board. As we like to say, if you're not sure which units to play, just take the path that puts the most damage on the board. And so we'll get our 3 attack unit down now. This lets us move into the next turn to where we can play a 2 and a 1. Get the double stats down that way. Keep punching on in. It's weird seeing Sivir in this Echo deck. It's like I see the Echo, I see the Shurima PNZ. I kind of assume that they're going to be playing just the dumb Zillion deck, or not the dumb Echo deck with all of the predicts in it. But may not be where he's going here. I took the heroic refrain. This is the most damage we can get out of hand. I don't think we'll end up playing it this upcoming turn. We'll see. It's like we'll play the spider now. And then if we draw another unit, we'll probably just play 2 units. If we don't draw a unit, then we'll open and play the heroic refrain. Okay. So we'll survive this combat here. Oh. Is he doing a Scrying Sands? Is he going to block with the Scrying Sands? I was hoping to get to punch in a couple of points of damage, but we might have to rework this. The other thing that would be slightly odd is if we get, kind of invested in this heroic refrain and then he just has a quicksand as well. But I think we'll go for the unit saves here. Miss out on a couple points of damage, but we should have a unit for our next attack. The other thing with quicksand is like he can't stop this combat to the left, right? He's never getting the 2-for-1 out of it, right? But it takes 3 mana for him, so he likely can't play any more cards this turn. What up, Gnar? How much do we care about this Echo? It's like we can block Echo and then Nox and Fervor to face, but we can't play a Gnar that way. And we need to do like some damage this turn. Like I'm kind of okay with him getting a predict, right? He's gonna get the strike. He'll get the predict thing. I'm not gonna pokey stick my own unit here, but maybe that is the way we go about it. We don't get the Gnar flip if we do it that way, though.
This is my future. We'll get our licks in.
Try me.
Okay. Then I'm looking. It's tough. I would like to just have Gnar go directly to face, and so we can actually hook his Echo with the Conchologist and then get in for 6 with Gnar. I guess it's just 5 with Gnar now, right? But that gets us to the 7 damage to the kill from the burn in hand. It gets shut down by a quicksand though. I think it's okay. We can cancel the strike this way as well if we Nox and Fervor away our small unit. Something like that. Here it comes, bruh. I was a little worried about the quicksand, but it's not the end of the world. We do still have the 7 damage in hand. I want to play it like a little bit slow, but it could be important.
Wondrous discoveries await below.
We've still got our 8 mana this turn. I don't think we'll end up Nox and Fervoring away the Echo. Or I'm sorry, walloping the Echo. I think we'll just block with the Conchologist and then try and follow up with the Decimate. It's kind of the same deal as one of those previous games. He could have a Rite of Negation here to stop some of this, but I think we're pretty okay at the end of the day. You can Rite of Negation away your Sivir. Cool. Here it comes. Boom. Enjoy. God, Decimates are so fun. I can't wait to get these Annie cards going. All right. Well, with these champion reveals, I've been cutting it off at 6 games, but these games have been pretty snappy with the Gnar Ziggs. I think we'll continue on with 2 more. I don't have any more crazy topics to talk about. Hot takes about Magic cards and Magic players that I don't personally know or haven't followed for a decade, and then stupid animals I don't like. I think we're kind of done with those topics. I get it. It did make me kind of think in terms of Runeterra though, and how they'll handle it. I'm glad that they haven't said that they're gonna just do like a pro circuit. The thing that strikes me as odd with Runeterra and the way that they're doing it is when you look at like all of the other games in their pro scene, it's used as an advertisement for that current set, and so the Streets of New Capena was the new Magic set. That's what the new Pro Tour was for. It's like the set gets released, and then a week after the release or 2 weeks after the release, they have the Pro Tour. Not the way we see it here in Runeterra, where the seasonal tournament is at the end, and so those kind of cards are done. And then they also don't tie any of the spoilers for the next set into the seasonals. And so maybe they did over the past weekend. I didn't watch any of the seasonals coverage. I'm a bad Runeterra, and I know. But I'm surprised that they don't do more to try and tie it all together. With either, if you're going to have the seasonals at the end, to include spoilers for the new cards. That way, if you have people watching your coverage for the first time, they get to kind of enjoy the new and exciting stuff, and then people wanting the spoilers get drawn to the stream. So I don't know. I'm sure they've done some work on figuring out how to get the most people there. Get those eyeballs out there and opening those wallets.
I'm not greedy. My friends, though.
All right, Yordle Grifter. I'm happy enough to trade the Inventive Chemist into the Grifter. We can throw a Pokey Stick at him if we need to next turn. Otherwise, looks like his 2 blocks should go down here to the left, right? He'll put his Pole Shark on the 2/1, his Grifter onto the Stone Stackers. Get in for 6+ an impact. Then we can Pokey Stick the Grifter if we need to. Sure. Not the pirates I was expecting. I saw the Gangplank Misfortune and thought these were going to be the more standard pirates. We're seeing the plunders coming at us. A lot of our deck works well for the plunder theme. We have a lot of the face damage kind of activities. Everyone loves a good face damage activity. Sure. I assume he's going to flip his Gangplank. Oh. Whoa. Okay, there you go. I was going to say he's going to lose out on the powder keg. He doesn't get the big, like, Gangplank blast powder keg, but... this is okay. No blocks. So we'll be at 5. We can survive a decimate here.
The wiser.
Let's see if we can do it. See if we can keep this undefeated streak going. Alright, squad. I'm not feeling good about this one. I think this is where we fall. Oh man, I wonder if we should have hooked this powder keg. Is that where we're gonna... I think that's what we should have done. Now we do die to a decimate. I think we should have hooked the powder keg with the Saboteur. This would take him down to 4. And then we would just get the decimate win from there. At least playing cards. If this is a make it rain, we're dead. We die to a lot here. But I think that would have given us a little bit more opportunity. Uh-oh. That doesn't feel good. He thought about playing something, said, nah, man, not doing that. Uh-oh. We're about to get decimated for 5. Fuck. Uh-oh. Maybe? Maybe? This card's interesting. It has a skill ability, right? The deckhand generating. I think this was. I searched for skill earlier, and that was one of the things that came up. Yeah. But it doesn't look like a skill. It's weird. All right, we should have cut it off at 6. We could have had the perfect run. Yeah, that one's a little on us. We should have hooked that powder keg. I think that would have gotten us a victory. Well, I don't know. It was like he was kind of thinking of playing that Nox and Fervor early. I'm curious if we hook the powder keg, if he Nox and Fervors another unit. We don't have the damage to win the game at that point, but we've pretty much lost the game. Here, I don't like hanging on to these Demolitionists. There's not a lot of good early plays with them. We have the 1-drop. That's the important thing. I think we can mulligan away the 2s and accept that we'll probably draw another 1-drop or at least another 2-drop by the turn. We need it. I think that's okay. All right, let's get our most damages down. I could see an argument for playing the Inventive Chemist first, but if we picked up another 3-attack 1-drop, we would have rather played it. Okay. That bird's picking up a nice 2-for-1. Rip it, my dude. What is this? Shield of Durandi. Alright.
Never tried this chemical before.
Here come the attacks, my dude.
I'll do better this time.
Alright. I'm feeling pretty good about this one now. We've got him to 8. We have 8 burn in our hand. We'll get 1 damage off the teeny dactyl. I think we're in a good spot.
Our ancestors are watching.
Bring in only the finest of aggros today. All right, how close does this get us? Gets them down to 3. We should be fine with the decimate. The scrappy bomb will take him to 2. There shouldn't be anything out of these factions. I guess he could be playing a weird drain card or something, but I think we just win, right? Rip it real good. Nice. GG. So yeah, interesting set of games. Like, I know I didn't delve into the gameplay too much there. I had way better topics than gameplay though, talking about fucking dumb animals and the current pro scene for games we're not playing. But nonetheless, it's a pretty powerful deck, right? I don't know that it's better than Pirates. I think that might have been kind of the reason it's fallen off a little bit, but we just crushed right through all those. I know we were playing in normal, we weren't playing on ranked today, but we crushed a lot of those games. I thought those were all pretty good and strong. And you get to see that there are quite a few of these skill abilities running around. We didn't get a lot of time to develop the things like Pokestick and develop things like trying to see where an Annie would be in terms of flipping, but I think we did kind of like see the spaces in there as to where like Tibbers would have been fantastic if our opponent doesn't have a way to deal with Annie, and a lot of the way these games sequence to where we say like start with the Tibbers on turn 6 and then just stun their biggest unit. I think that would have been pretty good. And then you can do some kind of like mixing and matching in these units to fit a little bit more skills in the deck. And so I'm interested. I'm on board. I don't know if we'd want to play like Gnar Ziggs or Gnar or how that's going to work. We'll probably try lots of different iterations of the other things. Like the thing with Gnar is that gives you access to things like the 3/2 Overwhelm for 2 that deal damage to both players. There's the oh, they had another skill card. Oh, the Avarosian Sentry. I'm not entirely sure, or Avarosian Marksman. I'm sorry. I'm not entirely sure that would be great, but having the unit that does the point of damage to get a bit of cleanup on the board, like we had a ton of boards to where opponent got a value block on a 2-attack unit. Getting to clear that up with a unit is pretty nice as well. And so there's some potential there. We've played a bunch of things like Darius Gnar, and so maybe there's a way to just play Annie Darius plus Freylord or something. Like there's just tons and tons of options out there. I'm ready to get out there and start brewing with them. But I felt like this was kind of a good intro to show that hey, these aggro things are still pretty good. You're probably gonna see a lot of these aggro things over the next couple weeks. I suspect the supreme amount of bitching on Reddit is going to be about how good aggro decks are over the next few weeks, and so I suspect we'll probably see a bit of a nerf. And it's always tough to tell in terms of is aggro too good or are people just playing these cards because they're new. And it seems like with Runeterra that the meta evolves very slowly, and so I think people will end up just like they're going to run into aggro a lot. They're going to have their shitty brews just getting annihilated by really aggressive Annie decks. And there's going to be a call for nerfs very quickly on Reddit. That's what my kind of hot take of the upcoming format is going to be. And I'm not really going to be surprised when that actually unfolds. But we'll see. We'll see. And so, before we head out, with the new cards coming out, I do intend to do my full set review for the next video. So there will be no battles in the upcoming video, but I want to quickly speak about all 60 of the new cards the day before their release, and then we'll start in with the battles with the new cards immediately after that. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You maybe learned a more skillful way to do battle, maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.